Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, otherwise known as COPD, affects millions of people around the world. The purpose of this video is to go over several of the key risk factors for COPD. Number one on my list should not be a surprise to anyone, and that is smoking. Smoking is the leading cause of COPD and number one on my list. Now, I have smoking on here. One thing that you need to consider when it comes to smoking is secondhand smoke and even third-hand smoke. Secondhand smoke is known to be a contributing factor to the development of COPD. So it is a big thing. If you're smoking, try not to smoke around people because it really can affect them. Now, the third-hand smoke, it is a big deal when it comes to, it can be an irritant, but I don't know that they have linked that as a key factor. But I just wanted to bring it up because it is a factor. It does stay on clothes. So say for instance, you have a child with asthma, you are smoking outside, you're not smoking around them, but you come in and you have the smoke on you, they give you a hug, that smoke can be an irritant to their little airways. So it's just an example there about the third-hand smoke. Now next I have occupation. So there are lots of occupations actually that expose you to things that can damage your lungs. Now, it used to be that you worked around stuff and you had no idea that it was bad for your lungs. But now most people they are cognizant of the fact that they may be working around things that can hurt their lungs. Usually the employer is going to tell you, and they're going to provide protective equipment like a mask to wear while you work. But some examples of some occupations would be coal mining is probably the number one, construction workers, plant workers, any kind of factory workers. Also, you work around cars where you have all the fumes, and even housekeeping, cleaning, because you're around those chemicals all day, every day. As well as people who do hair, those chemicals can actually mix together and make a fume, and you can inhale that. So anywhere where you can inhale different things is going to be a little bit hazardous for you. So I always recommend wearing a mask if you're ever exposed to stuff like that, just to protect your lungs. So on that same note, I have air pollution. This obviously is one that you can't do a whole lot about. Cars, different trucks, plants, factories, these things do release things into the air. Wildfires, that's something you cannot help, and that will travel for miles and miles and miles and miles. You could be nowhere near the wildfire, and it will be in the air that you're breathing. So air pollution is a big one. I do know that there are several apps that you can download on your phone. They are air quality apps, and you can check those, and it'll actually tell you kind of how the day is going to be as far as the air quality. So I think that's pretty cool. If you suffer from breathing problems, it might be a good idea to download one of those just to check it out and know when the best times to go out is. Might be helpful. Next on here, I have genetics. So there is one thing that can be passed down that can cause COPD, and it is called alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. This is something that the doctor will check. If you have it, they will let you know that you are at risk for developing COPD if you do have this. So it used to be that they really didn't check for it, but I do think it's becoming more and more common that, especially if you develop COPD at a young age, it's more common that they are testing for this deficiency. But that is one that I wanted to add on there just in case you haven't heard of it. It's not a bad idea just to kind of look into it so you can see what it is. Now, as far as sex goes, more men, historically, I should say, more men develop COPD, but women are actually starting to narrow that gap. Don't know why, but it is happening. So it used to be that men were way higher, but now it's going to be evening out soon, probably. Now, if you have a poor lifestyle, it can be a risk factor for COPD. So, this entails a lot of different things, but inactivity, if you're eating a poor diet, and the reasoning behind that is that those are things that can negatively affect your breathing. So, if you have other things that will predispose you to develop COPD, these other little things are just going to make it that much worse. So, it's always a good idea to eat a good diet, to be active so that you are just, you are basically being healthy as you can, so that if any of these other things start to come up, at least you've got that good solid foundation to go off of.